Did the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani seriously just eliminate the Atlanta Braves? Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Oh my God, it's way too soon. You're only 2 weeks in. You're such a casual. You don't know what you're talking about. Hold on. Just hold on. So, a fact came out, and I saw this scrolling through X, and I was like, oh my God, this is so interesting. The Atlanta Braves are currently 0-7. So, in the history of the MLB, there's been absolutely no team that has started 0-7 and made the playoffs. The last game they played, it was against the Dodgers, and they were actually leading 5-2, and it looked pretty good for the Braves, but they did blow a lead with Ohtani walking it off. But to be fair, it was Ohtani bobblehead night. Like, please. By the way, if somebody doesn't want their bobblehead, just hit me up, because I'll gladly take a Ohtani bobblehead. But the start of the Braves season has been really shocking. If you ask me who is going to go in 0-7 and be undefeated for the next few weeks, I would have said the Chicago White Sox. I would have said the Colorado Rockies. But the Braves were never on the top of the list. They've been struggling on both sides of batting and also pitching. They have not been doing so great. But to be fair, in their defense, they faced the two undefeated teams that still have not lost in the Padres and Dodgers. So yes, to be fair, they have faced two really difficult opponents the last two series. But today might be the day that the Braves get their first win, because they start their series with the Miami Marlins. And if you're seeing this after that game and they get the first win, congratulations to the Atlanta Braves. You guys are finally 1-7. You guys got this. But they have faced difficult opponents, but the batting and the pitching have not been there. It hasn't been good. It hasn't been what it was last year. And to be fair, they do have a lot of injuries, but we will get to that in a second. Let's start with hitting. Right now, the Atlanta Braves are ranked 24 in batting. They have a .151 batting average, and it's absolutely nothing like last year, where last year in 2024, they were ranked 4th in batting with a batting average of .243. The players just have not looked great as well. It's like Marcell Ozuna has been struggling. He currently has a batting average .188. Ozzie Albies .184 average. The big players are not making the plays necessary to get the wins. So Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Marcell Ozuna. I'm not doubting that they're going to get hot eventually in the season, but that's one of the biggest reasons why they're currently in an 0-7 hole. Now, something that also hasn't happened is their recent acquisition of free agent Jurickson Profar, who they signed for 3 years for $42 million. Was suspended 80 games because they found that he was using PEDs. So now he's suspended for 80 games, and he's also not eligible to play in the playoffs if the Braves do make it to the playoffs. Now, for the Braves, this did seem like an amazing acquisition at the time. Jurickson Profar had an absolutely amazing year his last year, with the Padres having a batting average of .280 and an OPS of .839. So to me, maybe other people thought differently. I thought it was a great acquisition for the Braves in the outfield. Now, moving on to the pitching. This is another aspect of the Braves game that just hasn't been what it has in recent years. The Braves are currently ranked 22 with an ERA of 5.11, which is not good. Both the starters are struggling really early on, but the bullpen also hasn't helped. They've blown a lot of leads. They've given up a lot of scores. No, it's just something that is unlike the Braves. You look at last year's statistics, and the Braves were actually ranked number 1 in pitching with a 3.49 ERA. Now, the future does look bright, but there has been some instances of a lot of injuries for the Braves, specifically Ronaldo Lopez. He had an absolutely great year last year with an ERA of 1.99 and a whip of 1.11. But as of recently now, he has been placed in the IL 60 and will be getting shoulder surgery. Now, they do not know as of now until surgery actually happens if he will come back. They are hopeful that he will come back in a few months, but there's always that potential that he just will come back. Now, there is a bright side. There's actually a lot of players that are supposed to come back, and one of them specifically is Spencer Strider, someone who missed a lot of months last year and it has not debuted at all this year. He's actually been rehabbing. He's actually going to start his second game of rehab in the minor leagues today, as of recording April 4th. Very exciting here. So he didn't actually go the normal route with Tommy John surgery because there was some damage to the UCL, but instead he opted out for a different type of procedure where they put a brace and inserted it in his elbow to stabilize the UCL. So, but as of now, it sounds like everything's going right. Everything sounds fine, and he is en route to pitch for the Atlanta Braves middle of April, towards the end of April. Now, moving on to hitters. One of the biggest stars for the Atlanta Braves that they missed for a lot of months last year. The MVP, the 4-time All-Star, the Rookie of the Year, the former MVP. That's right. Ronald Acuna is supposed to come back towards the first week of May. Now, there is going to be a big change in his game, and he has said this. He will not be stealing as much bases as he used to. Now, I don't know if you've seen Ronald Acuna play before, but it is one of the biggest things that is a part of his game. Now, it's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be different. But it's still Ronald Acuna. He's great at batting. He's just an absolute stud. And there is going to be a drastic change, but he's still going to be great. He's still going to steal bases, just not as much of a high production as he used to. Which is absolutely fair if you really think about it, because stealing bases is one of the things that could lead to an injury, and you want to avoid as much injuries as you can in your career. So with him avoiding and not stealing as much bases, it gives him more availability. It makes it less likely for him to miss a season or miss games or get injured as much. So it's absolutely completely fair. Now, lastly, the Atlanta Braves are missing their starting pitcher, Sean Murphy, who actually cracked his ribs and missed action during spring training because he cracked his ribs. He should be coming back at any point in April. They're looking more towards the half of April. He has already started doing some minor league games for that rehab. So that's another person that you will be getting through hitting. You will be getting your starting catcher. So a lot of exciting things that are about to come for the next few weeks for the Atlanta Braves. Now, yes, they are currently 0-7. There is absolutely no teams that have started 0-7 and have made the playoffs. But one thing I will say, if there is a team that is going to break that streak or is going to make history, because it would be history if they do qualify for the playoffs. If there was any team that you could choose, I think the Atlanta Braves are the right team that could make the playoffs. They need to get hot. They need to get these wins before these players come back, because there's still a few weeks, there's still a few days before Spencer Strider comes back, before Ronald Acuna comes back. And fortunately, they do get a little bit of a more easier schedule. It's not the Padres, it's not the Dodgers. They get the Marlins coming up. So it should be a little bit more better. They should improve that record. Now, is it gonna be easy? Absolutely not. The Phillies are in their division. The Mets are in the division. You know, Marlins, yeah, Marlins are sellers probably. Nationals, they're not doing so hot. They have a little bit of aspects, you know, where you look and you're like, damn, the Nationals look kind of good here, but then they lose eventually. So the Braves do have a chance. I think there's still so much time to play. Of course, there's so much time to play. What am I saying? We're 2 weeks in. There's so much time to play. I mean, just look at the Mets. The Mets had a terrible record last year, and look how far they made it to the playoffs. So the Braves, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun season. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do once they get Spencer Strider, once they get Acuna back. It's going to be a really interesting season, to say the least. But yeah, anyways, that's all I got for you today. This was a great, fun video. Let me know if you have any suggestions, recommendations, that what you want me to post. Please subscribe, like. I'm still really new to this YouTube thing, so, you know, feedback is very much appreciated. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Follow me on X. All those social media platforms below. I post them daily, so please go show me some love. Anyways, I'll catch you guys on the flip side, and go Brewers.